If you've been thinking about integrating your Teachable School with Circle, this video is for you because I'm going to show you 4 ways that you can actually integrate Circle's online community with your Teachable courses. What up, Kingdom Builders? Welcome back to my channel. I am Ebony Evaughn, your favorite business coach in these internet streets. I coach corporate professionals and first-time entrepreneurs on how to turn their skills, talents, and expertise into profitable online businesses. Welcome to Soul Struggle Land. Hey, how you doing? What is up? This is my internet home where I help you to go from confused to the ethical, cash generating boss that we both know you are meant to be. In today's video, I am doing a follow-up to a previous video I did called 4 new teachable features that you should be using to boost your sales, right? And so in that video, one of the features that I mentioned was actually being able to integrate your teachable coaching and course content with Circle.so, which is a online community building platform. So think of it like Facebook groups on steroids. So since I did the previous video, I did actually end up signing up for Circle and moving a lot of my programs over to the Circle community instead of using private Facebook groups. If you're watching this video, you're probably already signed up with Teachable and you're hosting your coaching and your courses on the Teachable platform, and you're thinking about integrating it with Circle, or you're just trying to figure out if Circle is even worth integrating with your Teachable school. So in this video, I'm going to give you 4 different ways that you can actually integrate Circle with Teachable. And before we get into the 4 ways that you can integrate these 2 platforms, if you're not familiar with Circle.so, Circle is basically a not brand new, it's been around for a little bit over a year now, probably going on 2 years almost at this point. But Circle is a online community hosting platform. So it's basically like Facebook groups on steroids. It's like Facebook groups without all the distractions that happen on Facebook. You can do live streams in there. Students can direct message each other. You can post different videos. You can link to videos. If you have a podcast RSS feed, if you want to share your YouTube videos, you can start discussions. Like, the possibilities are really endless when it comes to your Circle community and the different things that you can do with it. So that's why I say it's really like Facebook groups on steroids. So for me, one of the big reasons why I wanted to do away with having a private Facebook group for my signature coaching programs is because a couple years back, Facebook actually changed one of their settings to where even though you had a group that was private, if someone in that group invited another member, then that person could actually preview your group for 30 days without actually joining, right? And because my community was private, it was for paying members only who were paying for my content, and there was content that I didn't want to be accessible by just anyone. That was really what kind of motivated me to look into an online-based community, a web-based community that I didn't have to deal with Facebook and dealing with, they can change their settings whenever they feel like it. And so I looked into either doing Tribe or Circle, and then I saw that Circle actually had an integration with Teachable, so I decided to test them out and give them a try, and I absolutely fell in love with it because of the way that it integrates seamlessly with Teachable. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the 4 ways that you can actually integrate your Teachable school with Circle's online community platform. And the first way, and the thing that I love the most, about the integration with Teachable and Circle is that you can actually create a single sign-on for your users. So what I mean by a single sign-on is, instead of you having to have it where your students have their Teachable log-on credentials where they log into your Teachable to access the course content or their coaching, and then having a separate ID where they have to log into Circle in order to access the online community. Because there's the integration between Teachable and Circle, your Teachable students can actually log into Circle using their Teachable credentials. So they only need one username and password. If they are using a My Teachable account, that works as well. So students can actually log into Circle using their Teachable credentials, username, and password. So that's one less password that your students have to use. And you guys know with me, when it comes to creating coaching programs and online courses, I am all about the user experience. I want to make things as seamless and as easy as possible for students when they interact with my content. And so the fact that I can eliminate them having to create another user ID and password and remember how to log in, to me that is a plus for my students, and it's going to enhance their user experience when they're logging into the content and they only need one ID to log in. And the majority of my students have My Teachable accounts anyways, so they just have that one My Teachable user ID and credentials that they have to worry about. Let's get into the second way that you can actually integrate Teachable and Circle together, and this is by embedding your Circle community as a web page on your Teachable homepage. So the next way that you can actually integrate Teachable with your Circle community is by creating a web page where you can actually host your entire Circle community as a independent web page on your Teachable community. And so right now I do have a community web page set up for my Circle community in Teachable, but it is actually hidden at the moment because I don't want everyone to have access to it. But ideally, this right here is the home page for my online courses. And so typically you would see a link where it says community right here next to my website link. But again, I have this hidden because I don't want everyone to have access to it. But this is what the page looks like. Typically, I would be able to click on community and then it would take us to this page right here. All right, and so on this page, you can see I still have my Teachable heading up here at the top, sign in, log in. There's my website link, just like on the normal Teachable page. But then you can see embedded is my actual Circle community with all of my spaces that are available. So as I mentioned, I do have a Circle webpage set up and embedded into my Teachable homepage and my Teachable website. But the reason why I actually have it set to private is because I don't want my Circle community to be accessible by everyone. It is a community that is for paid members only, either through my business incubator, where my students inside my incubator have their own space inside of Circle, and then I also have a coaching membership that is based on different tier levels, what people have access to. And so if you're not in my coaching membership or you're not inside of my business incubator, I don't want people to have access to the space, which is why I have it private. So if you're someone who you have it where your community is open to everyone and it's linked to multiple different courses inside of your Teachable school, then it may be beneficial for you to have a public webpage with your Circle community inside of Teachable. If you're like me and it's exclusive access only, it's not accessible to everyone, then you may not want to embed a Circle webpage or site into your Teachable school. So, but there's pros and cons for if you may want to have it or not have it. So let's move on to the third way that you can actually integrate your circle community inside Teachable. And this is another one of my favorite ways and my favorite features about these integrations. And this is by creating a community widget. So remember how I talked about you actually have it where students can have a single sign on and they can log into your circle community using their Teachable IDs? Well, if you have specific courses that are linked to specific spaces inside of your circle community, you can actually create a custom pop-up widget so that while students are actually accessing your course content in Teachable, they can just click on a little button, pop up the widget, and boom, just like that, they are inside of the circle space and they can ask questions, they can respond to questions. If you have like a to-do list and tasks for them, then they can easily toggle between the Teachable content and the circle community back and forth. It's a seamless thing. So this is absolutely my favorite way to integrate Circle and Teachable together. So right now we are inside of my Kingdom Build incubator, and this is inside the course content. And basically once students are inside, they can come in here and, like, for example, one of the first things that I have my students do is to set their lunch goal and map out their lunch timeline. So when they do this exercise, there's actually an assignment for them to share their lunch goal in the group. So when students are inside of the Teachable course content, they can click on this little widget down here. You see this little green bubble with the chat icons. They can click on that and it automatically takes them to the circle community where they can actually come and share their lunch goals. Once they share their lunch goals, if they have any questions, they can ask their questions, ask for feedback over here. And once they've asked their questions, they've shared their goals, they can just pop back to the course content and everything is seamlessly integrated. And I love this because before, when I used to have private Facebook groups for my lunch accelerator or my business incubator, then students would have to access the content inside of Teachable. And then if they had to answer a question or they wanted to complete a task, they would have to leave Teachable and then go to the Facebook group and then go back. And so now they can easily toggle between the community as well as the course content and just like a click of a button. So this is definitely my favorite feature of the integration between Teachable and Circle. Let me know if you think this is dope. I love having a community pop-up widget. This is a game changer to me. You know I'm all about the user's experience, and this just eliminates so much friction from users having to log into the course content and then bounce to a Facebook group or go somewhere else. The fact that everything is seamlessly integrated really enhances your user experience and it simplifies their process. They don't have to go looking for stuff. Like, everything is right there together and easily accessible. Now, let's move on to the fourth way that you can actually integrate Teachable and Circle together. And I'm currently not using this way because it is labor intensive and takes a lot to set up. But you may find that it's beneficial for you, and that is actually embedding comments into your Teachable lectures. So inside of Circle, you can set up different discussions and you can actually link the discussion posts and the responses, the comments that happen on those posts inside of your Teachable lectures. So a perfect example of how you may want to use this, like right now in my community, I have like specific tasks that students perform, right? When they first sign up for my incubator, there's an introductions thread where people introduce themselves and tell us about their business. I also have a place for them to set their lunch goal so that we can hold them accountable and make sure that they're on track to hitting their goal. So If I wanted to, I could actually take it to where when they pop up and go to the circle community to answer those questions, I can embed that discussion and the comments into the actual lecture inside of Teachable. So whether they comment in Teachable or if they comment inside of the circle community, then all the comments will show as comments under the Teachable lesson, or they show as comments inside the circle community. So basically the comments are mirrored regardless of if they're looking at it inside Teachable or if they're looking from the circle community. So hopefully that is making sense. The reason why I have not implemented this is because I have a lot of action steps inside of my business incubator. So if you want to set up where you embed the comments inside of a lecture, it is something that needs to be done one by one. So you would have to create the discussion inside of your circle community. Once you create that discussion, then you would have to copy the embed code into the actual lecture that it correlates with inside of your Teachable school. So let's say if you have like 5 or 6 different discussion posts that you want to embed, that's not that big of a deal. But let's say you have 20 or 30, then that means that you have to go through this process, creating the post, copying the code, and then creating it in Teachable, 30 or 40 or however many different posts that you want to have. But I do think this is a great integration and a great enhancement for your community. If it's something that you want to do, there are definitely many benefits to it. I have not implemented it into my own community just because it is so labor intensive, but who knows, maybe one day I may decide to just go ahead and integrate the comment sections as well. So there you have it. Those are 4 ways that you can actually integrate your Teachable school with a circle community. I want to hear from you. Let me know down in the comments. Do you currently have a circle community? Are you a part of any other circle communities? If you're thinking about integrating circle with your Teachable school, let me know which one of these integration features are your favorite. Are you going to use all of them? Do you want to use the single sign-on? Let me know all the tea down in the comments. As always, thanks so much for stopping by my internet home. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you will be the first one to know next time I upload a brand new video just like this one. In the meantime, feel free to watch these 2 videos right here or this playlist if you're really about that life. All right, bye y'all.